Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today. And first of all, I want to thank my supervisor, Professor Ofer Golan, who couldn't be here today. I'm going to speak with you about the Israeli adaptation and preliminary results of a clinical trial that we've done with peers, with adolescents and children with ASD in Israel. So we all know that high-functioning teens with ASD we all know that they have a lot of social deficits. They have poor social communication, problem with topic initiation. They use repetitive themes, so sometimes one-sided conversation, poor social awareness, difficulty understanding social cues, poor social motivation, less involvement in social activities, lack of peer entry attempts, and poor social cognition, difficulty understanding the perspective of others. All of this may result in poor friendship quality, peer rejection, and social neglect. So unfortunately, social skills interventions do not always use evidence-based curricula, do not teach ecologically valid social skills, and do not include homework assignment or generalize to other settings, and not always include parents, which are so important. And for Israel, are not necessarily culturally adapted. So PEERS is the program for the education and enrichment of relational skills, who was developed at UCLA by Elizabeth Lagoson, along with Frankel. It's a cognitive behavioral parent-mediated social skills program for adolescents with ASD between the ages of 11 and 17. It was originally developed from the Children's Friendship Training, CFT, for children with ADHD, 7 to 10 years, and it was also tested with children with ASD. It's a parent assistant program of 14 weeks curriculum, 90 minutes per session. We teach concrete parent and teen sessions. We focus on friendship skills and handling peer conflict and rejection. And we teach ecologically valid social skills, and we address generalization issues. This is an evidence-based protocol, and it was cross-culturally validated through North America and South Korea. So we know that evidence-based methods for teaching social skills should have small groups format, didactic instructions, that means structured lessons, concrete rules and steps for social behavior, and ecologically valid social skills. It should be of parent assistance. The parents are the social coaches of their teens. They help with homework compliance, and the main goal and target is to expand social opportunities and to encourage their teens. We use role-playing and modeling, and we demonstrate good, appropriate, and inappropriate demonstrations. We use perspective-taking questions, targeting social cognition, focusing on theory of mind, using Socratic methods. We do behavior rehearsal, social coaching, we use in vivo social feedback, and we assign homework which focuses on generalization to other settings. So a quick overview of the PEERS curriculum shows us that we address conversational skills, electronic communication, choosing appropriate friends, appropriate use of humor, peer entry and exit strategies, get together, good sportsmanship, peer rejection, and peer conflict. I want to give you a little example of a clinical example from the PEERS protocol. This is taken from the book, The Science of Making Friends. It's a parent book that teaches friendship skills, handling peer rejection and conflict. It has a parent section and a teen and young adult chapter. It's companioned by a DVD and a mobile app that's called the Friend Maker. And I want you to think about two questions. What are most teens told to do when meet new friends, new people? And what do teens with social challenges often do to meet new people? So I'm going to show you a small video clip from the DVD of role-playing of a bad example for entering group conversation.
So Alex, you'll never believe it. I ran into Mary at my piano lesson place.
Oh, no way. I didn't know you played piano.
Well, I had no idea that she played piano, and
So
then we ran
funny.
into each other. It was the craziest thing.
It really was.
Wow.
Have you guys been to the Waterpark? The new
what'd you say?
Waterpark that just opened
Do you
up.
play anything else?
It's so awesome.
Yeah, I play guitar.
There's this slide. You
Oh,
start at the
nice.
very top and you just go round and round and round. You come all the way. It's so much fun.
I play acoustic.
And you go
Oh,
really
nice.
fast down the
Do you ever
slide.
play
It's
out?
so fun.
In my garage.
There's also this place where you can kind of like body surf. Have you guys been body
Garage?
surfing
Your
before?
garage?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You
It's-
play in your garage?
It's so much
Yeah,
fun.
in my garage.
And it's so close too.
Okay. So also the teens have a laugh when they see that. So when we ask the perspective questions, what was the interaction like for Mary, Alex, and Lara? What do you think they thought of Jasmine? Are they going to want to talk to Jasmine again? So this was the bad example. When we talk about how to do it right, we set these following steps. We say to them, first of all, watch and listen. Watch from a distance. Using a prop is helpful, very handy today. Listen for the topic. Look for common interests. Make periodic eye contact. Watch to see if you know someone. Make sure they're talking nicely, and then wait. This is one of the hardest part. Wait for a pause in the conversation. Move closer, arm's length away, and we have to say, don't measure, because sometimes I do that. Join the topic, make a comment or ask a question that is on topic. Another great challenge for our teens with ASD. So the peers intervention has extensive research, and its effectiveness has been demonstrated in a few randomized controlled trials. And we've seen improvement in social skills knowledge, increased frequency of social interaction with peers, improvement in overall social skills and social responsiveness, and we've seen maintenance of treatment gains at 14 weeks and in a follow-up study 1 to 5 years later on. So when applying peers in Israel, we had our research questions. How applicable is peers for children, teens, and parents in Israel? And does a culturally adapted peers program maintain its effectiveness? We had our intervention adaptation, peers training in UCLA. We translated the manual, and we had our local team trained and supervised. The groups were conducted at Beit Echad Clinical Center in Israel, which are providing evidence-based services for individuals with ASD. And we collected data from 15 groups, 8 peers groups for adolescents, and 7 groups for elementary school children, then adding peers contact into the CFT protocol, creating a new protocol. We evaluated pre and post interventions, and we used questionnaire measures, self-report measures of child and teens on the task, social skills knowledge, QSQA get-togethers with peers, loneliness scale. We had parental report on the SRS, ASD symptoms, SSAS social skills, and also on the QSQ, which looks for get-togethers with peers. Also, the teacher reported, which they were our external evaluators on the SRS and the SSAS, and also we collected some qualitative data. So our participants were 61 of the peers group, between the ages of 10 and 16, with a mean age of 12 and a half. Male to female ratio was 57:7, and 52 participants from our elementary school groups between the ages of 6 to 12, with a mean age of almost 9, male to female ratio 49:3. Our qualitative data was collected from the first 2 groups, and overall peers was viewed as a valuable intervention by teens, parents, and clinicians. parents wish such an intervention was made available early on to minimize the psychological effects of rejection and isolation of their children that the children have encountered. This was the basis for us to combine the peers protocol with the CFT. And we had sessions that raised cultural dilemmas such as conversational skills, electronic communication, good sportsmanship, which was actually a quite difficult term to translate to Hebrew, appropriate use of humor, choosing appropriate friends, and get-togethers. Cultural roots of the described gaps are in that the Israelis are characterized by sometimes direct, blunt, informal, very interpersonal approach, sometimes even the dismissal of courtesy. And the Israeli society emphasizes the centrality of socialization, use of humor, and even cynicism. This principle stands in contrast to some behavioral codes set by peers and have been adapted in the Israeli manual. A quick example is that when we addressed get-togethers, for an example, in the manual, in the protocol, it's advised to, when you host a new friend in your home, you should show him around your house. It is not acceptable in our society. It's too formal to do that. Our clinicians' additional feedback was directed to the difficulties accepting structured directive interventions, and then we paid careful attention to the therapeutic contract with the parents. We've noticed the centrality of parental resolution and diagnosis, and sensitivity to their child may predict parents' ability to help their child improve. We've seen the importance of emotion regulation abilities of the teens, and we had a sense of a very tight schedule that resulted by expanding the protocol to 16 sessions. So regarding our quantitative data, we ran some t-tests, and we've seen a significant improvement that was self-reported by the teens about their social knowledge. We've seen on the tasks that their theoretical knowledge about how to get along with peers and how to, what they knew about friendships was significantly improved. And not only on the theoretical side, the parents also reported a significant improvement of their teens having more get-togethers and getting along better with their peers. And this was compatible with the teens self-reported that they felt less lonely, and they perceived themselves as being more empathic to social contexts, within social contexts. Also, teachers and parents reported a significant improvement on the total social skills scores. Parents reported improvement in communication and self-control subscales on the SSIS. Parents reported that their teens' total SRS scores, they perceived their teens as having less autistic traits on the SRS score, and especially on subscales like cognition and communication. And a significant reduction in total SRS scores over and above evaluator. We've seen that when we ran some repetitive measures assessments. This is also compatible with the teens' self-report that they perceive themselves as having less autistic traits on the AQ. Some of our elementary school groups results are showing us that the parents and teacher have reported a significant improvement in their social skills of the children, and also teacher reported a significant reduction in problem behaviors. Parents reported significant improvement in social engagement subscales, and that their children actually arranged more meetings with their peers, and the children self-reported a significant improvement in their quality of friendship. Again, on the SRS total score, parents reported that it was a significant improvement, also on subscales like cognition, communication, and awareness. So if I have to conclude, we've seen that overall the PEERS protocol has shown clinical effectiveness for adolescents and children with ASD in Israel. The promising results for elementary school children suggest the protocol could also be adapted for this younger age group. And the role of parental resolution and sensitivity on the children's gain should be examined, and a new RCT of PEERS in Israel is currently examining these questions. Reliance on behavioral measures in addition to questionnaires is advised. I want to thank you all for listening, and especially Dr. Elizabeth Lagerson, which was very generous with sharing with us her research and protocol, and the Beit Echad ASD Clinical Center and administrative staff in Israel, and the Harry and Janet Weinberg Foundation. Thank you very much for listening.